Everything. Every goddamn thing they come up with is basically a lie. Well, hello, you guys. I'm just on a roll today. Just pumping them out. I'm pumping them out, but I'm pumping them out on my cell phone, not my gorgeous camera, which I miss. It's MIA right now. So when it comes to Jehovah's Witnesses, you have Jehovah's Witness. The average Jehovah's Witness identifies himself as a Jehovah's Witness. Within the walls of the congregation, you're given a title. That title is publisher. You are either a publisher or an unbaptized publisher. There's two names. Now this was my discovery on how I discovered they were a publishing cult. Because I would argue people and say, what are you talking about there? My organization is a publishing cult. We're not a publishing cult. And then I had to think, I'm called the publisher. Now, one of the things Jehovah's Witnesses love to do, as with any other culty-like organization, is create their own loaded language. And basically what that means is they steal terminology and words and they put different twists and spins on different words. They change the definitions to fit their agenda. It confuses people. You don't know what you're a part of. So when I was younger, I was called a publisher. Now, if you look up the textbook definition of a publisher, it is one who issues or sells books. You basically are a bookseller. You sell books and issue magazines and things of that nature. And that is exactly what I was doing. And I would ask, what is a publisher? They would say, well, the text, that definition that I said where I was selling books and things like that, they were like, yeah, that's not our definition. That's not Jehovah's definition. So I said, what's Jehovah's definition? So Jehovah's definition, publisher is Jehovah's servant. And that's it. It stops there. So there's the confusion. Because if you're being raised to be told you're a publisher and the definition of the word publisher is Jehovah's servant, you're not going to understand they stole the word publisher from the Webster Dictionary and put their own definition on there. Because you're raised under their ideology. You're raised under their doctrine. So you wouldn't know that you're actually the Webster's Dictionary definition of a publisher. You sell books. That's what I was doing. Point, it was 25 cents. Awake was 15. Then it went up to 50 cents. So we were selling it. I think they got in trouble with the IRS because they were making a profit because we were a publishing cult. And then they changed the game, but we were still called publishers. So it didn't matter. I think till this day, the average Jehovah's Witness title within a congregation is still publisher. And if I'm wrong, then correct me. I've been out of the board for about 20 years, so my terminology might be off because Jehovah's Witnesses changed their terminology like I changed my underwear so that they can stay beneath the radar, so that nobody can expose them and people can find out who they really are. That's what you would see with a lot of organizations. They just keep changing things. They change the name of their company. That's to dodge lawsuits. Oh, we're not that anymore. Yeah, but you were formerly that, right? So does that mean that just because you change your name that, some priest or somebody didn't touch a child? Okay, that don't mean shit. I don't care how many times you change your name. You still the same shit that you was when the people committed the crime under your watch and so-called guardianship or leadership. So it doesn't matter if you change your name 50 billion times. It all circles back to what you originally were. And as long as we can make a trace, your ass gonna be held accountable and we're gonna bring your ass to justice. And that's how it goes here. But anyway, so Jehovah's Witnesses like to hijack words. They're not the only organization that does this. There's so many organizations and institutions that hijack words from the Webster Dictionary. They put a new meaning on there, which creates and makes it loaded language. And then the members or the subjects really don't understand what's going on because they're confused. They're being brainwashed to believe one definition for another. Now, here's an example of where they created a word. They created a word. This is the definition of when they created a word. Shunned is a word in a Webster's Dictionary. Jehovah's Witness used the term disfellowship. Shunned and disfellowship is the exact same meaning. Although Jehovah's Witnesses will reword it a way that sees fit to throw people off so people can say that's not the same thing. It is exactly the same thing, but they did not want to use the word shun because that's a negative word. That's a negative word. So they're not going to use that. They created their own loaded language word, which is disfellowshipped. So you have to kind of understand their terminology, and what they do is they basically hijack words and they make words up so as to stay beneath the radar so that people can't make out what they're actually saying. You would only understand what they're saying if you were a Jehovah's Witness, and then you can translate what those words actually mean. Anyway, I hope this helps people to kind of understand the whole trick in the game. Like I said, Jehovah's Witnesses are not the only ones who steal words out of the Webster Dictionary and puts different definitions on them to fit their agenda, to fit their narrative, and to fit their doctrine. They take words from the Webster Dictionary. They take everything from the world and then they concoct it to fit their narrative, to fit their agenda, so that their members are very confused and don't know what the hell they're a part of and don't know what's the right definition. But you already know the Webster Dictionary is the right definition. Whether you want to change, you can change the Webster Dictionary all you want. There's always an original version of something as to what something was called, and you do the history on it, you will get a lot of answers. Like I said, Jehovah's Witnesses are not the only institution that does this. There are multitudes of institutions that hijack and steal words out of the Webster Dictionary. They put their own meaning and their own spin on it, and then they indoctrinate their members to believing this word actually means this, when it's just a word they stole from the Webster's Dictionary, because that's all the Jehovah's Witnesses do, is steal things from people. They steal families, they steal ideas, they steal policies, such as they stole the whole beard. The men have to shave their beards. They stole that from law enforcement. They stole that from the United States Army. The United States Army makes people shave. Law enforcement makes people shave to get control over their men, to get discipline in the men. And the Jehovah's Witnesses make the Jehovah's Witness men shave to get control over the men. So it's all about control. They basically steal all of these things from the world they claim to not be a part of. But where do you get your ideas from? The world. Oh, I thought you said you wasn't a part of the world. You are a part of the world. You steal everything from the world. So what the fuck you talk about? A bunch of idiots, a bunch of ass clowns, stealing everything from the world, talking about they ain't no part of the world.
Nigga, you stole this from the world. Shut up.
You stole this from the world. Like, get out of here. Anyway, I just think that's a pivotal point to make. You gotta understand, they steal words from the Webster Dictionary. They put their own definition on it. Then they indoctrinate born-in children. Born-in children don't really understand what's going on because they're indoctrinated at birth. So you're gonna end up very confused. But this is what the government allows them to do because of their 501c status. The government sees them as this wonderful, God-loving organization when they are nothing more than a deplorable, despicable, family-stealing cult. And there's nothing that the government can do because the government feels like they can't really prove their cult. Although you have a shitstorm of like millions of EXJW saying this is a despicable, deplorable, dangerous cult. It doesn't matter. But that's why we're here. That's why the EXJWs are here, so that we can explain to the world what they really are. Because we're the ones who left. And they tried to make it seem like we're just these bitter, angry, could not follow the rule. When I just told you I ain't never even had no stupid judicial committee, because I know the elders are ass clowns. They don't know nothing. They're a whole sham. But if there's any questions that you have, any clarification, I'm pretty much an expert on all that bullshit. It is all, sadly, a hot load of shit. Totally a lie. Everything. Every goddamn thing they come up with is basically a lie. Sadly. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. And I will see you all, beautiful people, in my next video. Peace.